Architecture tells me where we are. It tells me who we are. And it really identifies the character of a city. You can look at buildings and know immediately what the location is. And to me, that's identifiable. That's art, and it's city's art. It's a country's art. When we chose Foster & Partners, another key element to them was their understanding of old and new and being able to create identifiable buildings that really expressed and made visible the city's identity. The One will very much do that, where you can look at the One on its own and know it's Toronto. It's the same way that you look at the CN Tower and you know that it's Toronto. This is incredible just to see the work and the details that's gone into creating the residential units, creating the building, creating the entire space that you're going to live in.
Sam is one of those unique clients that has very strong ideas, very engaged in the design process. He came to the studio nearly 3 years ago now, and our approach to design and visualizing architecture, he understood. And every time I meet him, we're on the same level, and we're smiling because we know we're just as excited and we're just as engaged. You know, every time we talk about design, every time we talk about the building.
You live in these spaces and you start to see all the different components of where the creativity comes from, right? And how you actually wear it. That's incredible to see the work that's gone into this.
This building is not just a building, and people happen to live there. The people are just as important as the building itself.
And so we started with the design of the individual flats and tried to think about what it would be like to come home there every day. And then from that began to build out what our floor plate design would be, and then how you get through the building.
So sometimes we put design, physical things, secondary to the experiential, because essentially what we're trying to do is make people's lives better. This is where you can start to hear the music and get the feel of what it's really going to be like to live there.
This is a great shot of how it incorporates and you start to see inside the homes. I mean, it's all details. It's all form, function, art.
I think what struck me about Sam is that, you know, he was a man who had a vision. He had a vision about what he could create on this particular site. You are at this kind of critical junction of the city where young and Bloor meet, and you do feel you are in the centre, you know, not just of the city, but of kind of Canada. Toronto has a very distinctive skyline. Obviously the CN Tower is the reference point. I think we're creating a kind of a second focal point. Our immediate reaction was one should celebrate its focal point, and we can do that very positively by introducing obviously a structure of significant scale. It's a heroic endeavour to build a tower of this size, and we should celebrate it, to be very expressive with its frame, to articulate the tower, particularly with the slots that are mechanical services, which give it a rhythm as you rise up through the height of the tower, which is again unusual because most of the towers in Toronto are kind of straight up and down towers.
When we first started the brief was never build the tallest building. The brief was he wanted to have the best building, and that it had to be that the whole way through. Sam made it very clear that this is a building where every bit of it had to be uncompromising, right down to the point that at the base of the building he wanted the whole space open for really world-class retail. And normally when we do a building, you'll have the core and it runs down through and it ends up providing a huge amount of structural support for the building. And so the very first bit of the brief was that just has to come out. Then that really led us to a challenging design of, well, how are we going to develop a building to be entirely clear span at the base, and also be the tallest building in Canada. And that's the kind of design brief that you just live for. If that doesn't excite you, you're in the wrong industry.
So as we were developing the projects for the One, we had the ability to model them three-dimensionally in the computer and then print them three-dimensionally. And we can generate those models very, very quickly, so we can test different ideas, different structural forms, different massing arrangements. And that's kind of key to how we interrogate our designs and understand whether they're working visually, but also in the wider context of the city.
The one's going to be the last piece of the cluster that happens at Young and Bloor, and that's a responsibility we take very seriously. People are very excited about what's going to happen here, and not passively so. They really ask lots of good questions and really invested in their community, where they're going to be.
And what you're seeing with the One, in every sense, is really the voices of the city coming together and speaking as one unified voice to create something that's going to be an iconic landmark to identify Toronto and Canada as a world voice and the presence of an iconic landmark in the classes of what we see around the world.
The dreamer is open and free, imagining, searching for what can be. A building made of steel rises from a dream. A cinematic interpretation of life, living so high in the sky that you're the first to see tomorrow, the last to see yesterday. The dreamer is poetic. The sky, an ever-changing work of art. An infinity pool, serene against the city. Sunlight from every angle, clean and pure. This is the boldness of the dreamer. Who imagines, who draws, who laughs, who dares, who delights in the unexpected, living on the edge, skin to glass to city. They stitch together romance and reality. Only they can design the tallest building in Canada, have it disappear in the clouds, yet meet the ground in a curtain of glass. The world would not be the same without them. They contemplate the endless possibilities until they find the one.
Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you all for coming today. This is a big day and moment. You know, when you work on a project of the importance and scale of the One, you don't think about this moment, the launch date, or the ribbon cutting ceremony for the start of construction earlier this month. It's not the end goal. The goal through the 3 years of envisioning and developing the One and working closely with Foster and Partners in England is to not be satisfied until you know you have achieved something unique, something that will raise the benchmark for design and innovation. We focused on the residents in the One, thinking from their perspective, how can we create an experience of living in the city that is completely new, that will heighten the homeowner's own relationship with Toronto, making them fall in love with this beautiful city all over again, high in the sky through the expanses of glass, in homes that reflect their identity and passion for the perfect balance of traditional and contemporary design, treating them with amenities and services that make urban life an absolute pleasure, so easy and so enjoyable, giving them a sanctuary that provides an escape from the city at the same time that it engages with it. The views, they have a powerful and positive effect on human psychology, providing solace and inspiration, being in the midst of Canada's leading luxury marketplace, Bloor Street, restaurants and the podium that will cater or deliver food to your residents, or to the Terrace Sky Garden and Infinity Pool. I think all of us on this project felt a great sense of responsibility to create something one of a kind because of its unique location. Yonge and Bloor is deeply entwined with Toronto's history, and the intersection symbolizes the creative, optimistic energy of Canada. It deserved a bold vision, and it encouraged us to dream big. It's a heroic feat of the imagination, and it could not have been done without everyone coming together over the past 3 years to create the one. Now this day has arrived. I'm very proud of what all the members of the team have helped to create, and I'm really excited that we're now launching this dream that's now an absolute reality. I want to invite Eric onto the stage, who's going to help me talk about the building and tell you about the process today. Eric?
Look at this, Sam. Do you see this? I feel like Oprah Winfrey up here. You get a unit, and you get a unit, and you get a unit. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eric Kuzian. On behalf of Mizrahi Developments, I'd like to welcome you to the tallest residential building in Canada. I'd like to welcome you to the first $1 billion residential building in the country. I'd like to welcome you to the one. Everybody in this room understands real estate. And if you understand real estate, it starts with an iconic address. It starts with location. 1 Bloor Street West. God, that sounds sexy. I'm going to say it one more time. 1 Bloor Street West. Located in the southwest corner, the most desired corner of the most important intersection in the country. What makes this intersection so important? Well, you can start with the retail, the shops, the restaurants, the culture. The world's leading luxury brands are on Bloor Street West. Some of the best restaurants are on Bloor Street West. Just working, there we go. And Canada's first 35,000 square foot Eataly being constructed right now in the Manulife building, right behind 1 Bloor Street West. What else is important? Education. Within walking distance from this project, the #1 ranked university in the country, the beautiful University of Toronto downtown campus. And of course, last but not least, transit. Direct subway access to the most important transit hub in the country, right from this building. Over 500,000 riders every day goes through this intersection. And when you have the Yonge line and the Bloor line crossing at this transit hub, then you have direct access to everywhere. That's the importance of this location. We always said the right developer got this location. Mizrahi Developments, for the past 10 years, has been delivering luxury residential real estate to the highest end. They started with custom homes, luxury custom homes. And they moved on to create the most high-end boutique residential condominiums on the affluent neighborhood of Hazelton Avenue in Davenport. Started with 133 Hazelton, 181 Davenport, 128 Hazelton, which is currently under construction, and in our nation's capital, a building that has never been seen before, 1451 Wellington Street, that just launched about 5 months ago. Sam, why don't you tell everybody what room this is?
This is 133 Hazelton's mail room.
The mail room. This is nicer than most people's living room and master bedroom. But the residents of 133 Hazelton get to open their bills in this beautiful room. When you're in a Mizrahi building, it is marble on top of marble on top of marble. It is millwork on top of millwork on top of millwork. It is 7 8-inch baseboards It is solid core doors. It is the best of the best. And when you, for the last 10 years, are continuously delivering the best of the best, then you just go ahead and you hire the best architectural and design firm in the world. Foster and Partners do not just design buildings. They design airports. They design bridges. They design statements, bold statements that redefine the way a city is viewed. The Gherkin, known as the Egg in London, England, landmark. The Hearst Tower in New York City, landmark. The Cepsa building in Spain, landmark. And the Russia Tower in Moscow. This, ladies and gentlemen, this progressive modern building was designed over 10 years ago. And of course, their most significant project to date, the $5 billion Apple headquarters in Cupertino, California. Ladies and gentlemen, your clients are purchasing this type of talent, this type of genius. So what did Foster and Partners do for 1 Bloor Street West? Well, let's get into the building. It starts from the ground floor, where the building meets the street, in a 35-foot curtain of glass. The building is also set back to create 30-foot sidewalks to make sure that the anchor tenant, one of the greatest retail brands on the planet, is properly addressed.
And it's the urban living room. What we call the urban living room.
Absolutely. The building itself, 85 stories. 175,000 square feet of retail, restaurant, and commercial space. Every square inch of this building, Foster and Partners has thought of. A hybrid exoskeleton structure that makes the building 6 times stronger than a typical tower build. And when I tell you Foster and Partners has thought of everything, even to the point where you should be enjoying your coffee and your breakfast every morning. Not a traditional breakfast bar at an island. A piece of glass right up against the window so you can become one with the building. The living spaces. They've taken the exoskeleton structure and they've made it a feature in your living space with a powder-coated metal finish that was sourced in London, England.
This becomes jewelry to the building, part of the cladding. It's not only form and function, but actually forms part of the jewelry of what we see in the building.
Your kitchens, marble, stone, fully integrated Miele appliances, and from your 591 to your 5,700 square foot, standard Miele gas ranges in every suite. Bathrooms, sure, we'll throw more marble at it. Your vanities, custom designed by Foster and Partners, and Kohler plumbing fixtures throughout. And of course, your signature feature piece, a bench detail designed by Foster and Partners, wrapping inside the window wall, creating an amazing living experience. Once you get to the top of the building, you have 3 floors of sub-penthouse half-floor units. And then, of course, the 4 crown jewels of the whole building, each corner penthouse, 3 stories tall, with their own in-suite elevator that takes you up to the 85th story, where you have your outdoor kitchen, your private pool, all enclosed in 20 feet of glass that is fastened to the structure of the building so you don't get blown off because you're so high in the air.
That's at 1,005 feet.
That's how much?
1,005 feet.
I'll never be up there. I'll tell you that much. No, not me. Ladies and gentlemen, when you see a building of this size, you expect 800 or 1,000 units. But then it wouldn't be a world-class building. It would be just like any other building in the city of Toronto. This is iconic. This is a landmark. How many units did we end up putting in here, Sam?
416. 416, area code of Toronto.
Every part of this building has been thought of. I keep telling you that.
We actually get our own area code. This building gets its own area code.
You look across the street At One Bloor East, 800 units, 4 elevator bays. 416 units, 8 elevator bays.
That are dedicated. We have over 16 devices, but 8 dedicated to the core.
I can't even begin to think that I can understand these elevators. I'm going to let you tell the crowd about these elevators.
These are next-gen elevators. These are state-of-the-art machine learning elevators that actually float within the building and start to learn the lifestyle of the building and how you live in the building. What time you come in and press the elevator to go to work. What time you come home. When do you need that elevator, depending on what floor you're on. This is the next generation of machine learning, artificial intelligence going into these elevators that will be there when you call for it at record speeds that we haven't seen before. They operate at 1,600 feet per minute. They can take you from the top of the building down in under 30 seconds and float within the building. It's nothing that we've seen before. This is ingenuity and technology that's implemented in this building that is second to none, with no compromise.
There's just so many features. It doesn't stop. All right, I'm going to get into the floor plans now. First section of the building is called the tower section. It is floors 19 to 48. It is a 10-unit floor plate. We start with your 591 square foot one bedrooms that are east and west facing. And then we move up to your 725 square foot 1+ dens with north or south exposure. And we finish off with your 4 corner suites, 2 bed, 2 bath, 1,106 to 1,166 square feet. Then we move into the upper tower. Levels 49 to 61. 6-unit floor plate. We start at 1,352 square feet, 2 bed, 2 baths that are east and west exposure. From there, your 4 corner suites, all 1,500 square feet, 2.5 to 3 bedroom options. Let's keep going up. High rise. When you get into the high rise section, you're dealing with 10-foot coffered ceilings. The rest of the building is 9-foot coffered ceilings. In the high rise section, you become a 4-unit floor plate from level 62 to 76. And you have your 1,900 square foot, 3-bedroom units on the northeast and northwest corner, and then your 2,500 square foot, 3+ dens, 3-bedroom or 3+ den options on the southwest and southeast corner. There's a reason I put this floor plan up. I want to explain something to you. When you get your floor plan booklet on the way out, you will see that every unit has a layout A and a layout B. The layout B is created when the exoskeleton ties into the structure horizontally once on every 6 floors. When that happens, that bench detail that you've seen in the living space is continued in every space around the window wall of the entire plate. On 5 out of 6 floors,
it's an incredible feature.
Yeah, exactly. On 5 out of 6 floors, it is layout A that you'll be receiving, where the bench detail is just in the living room section so that purchasers have the ability to put their own type of furniture in the bedrooms and the dens. Everybody got that?
And that's your option.
That's right. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the south view from the 50th floor. If the residential floors start on 19 and finish on 85, this is technically halfway up the building. You want to see the top floor? I didn't hear you. Oh, okay. Okay. Everything disappears around you. You are technically looking down at all the buildings in the financial district. The only structure that is eye level is the CN Tower.
And you actually see all the way to the US. It is this doesn't do it justice. We actually shot it with a drone and a helicopter, and we metadata tagged each view and each unit. So when you go on the website, you pick your view shots, when you come into the presentation gallery, we can actually show you the actual views from the unit that you have, because we tagged it. And you actually see right across on a clear day into the US. It is unbelievable.
So just like Foster & Partners has designed every square inch of this building, Mizrahi Developments have figured out how we're going to make this a world-class building when it comes to services and amenities. When I tell you that every single service and amenity has been thought of, I kid you not, from the newspapers that will be in the lobby every day for purchasers to read, to the umbrellas that'll be handed to you by your 24-hour doorman if it's raining outside, to the protein shakes, the type of water, it's a pretty picky individual, that are going to be served in the state-of-the-art fitness studios, into the spas. It has all been thought of to make sure that this becomes the best world-class residential building. So let me explain how these services and amenities are going to work for you. It starts with 24-hour valet. There is no parking to be purchased in this building.
Because everyone gets one. Or the ability to park.
The best residential luxury buildings in Tokyo, Hong Kong, New York, Abu Dhabi, this is how they do it. It is a 24-hour, around-the-clock, a la carte service. So now, if you have a 591 square foot one bedroom, or a 5,700 square foot penthouse, 1 month, 4 months, 6 months, however you need it, you will have 24-hour valet.
You have an app, you can call for it, your car will come up at any time, you drop off, the valet takes it, 24-hour concierge services, 24-hour security, 24-hour valet, 7 days a week, for everyone.
So whether you come from the valet or from the ground level, you enter this amazing public civic space with 35-foot ceilings. A public civic space that allows for a Christmas tree like Rockefeller Center to celebrate holidays.
And those features will change. In the winter, we'll have the Christmas tree, as Eric says. In the summer, it'll be a public art feature, water features. It will change with the seasons and with the art of the city.
Speaking of art, we can do exhibits, exhibitions, sculptures.
It's a gathering place. It's what we call the urban living room, uncontaminated retail space. It's an area of gathering. It's a place to celebrate. It's a place to come relax. It's a place to hang out. It's a place to live. It's a place to shop. It's a place to eat. It's a place to celebrate the city with your family.
Because of all this interaction that goes on this ground floor, your sky lobby is 11.5 stories above grade on the 6th level for privacy and exclusivity. So when the residents go up on this elevator and come out onto their sky lobby, they're greeted by a 24-hour doorman, 2 24-hour concierge, and every single amenity occurs on this floor. You have a state-of-the-art fitness studio. You have a spin studio. You have a Pilates studio. You have a 3,000 square foot urban sanctuary spa. And you go outside to your 8,200 square foot rooftop terrace with a 2,000 square foot infinity pool facing south that
is heated 12 months of the year, 7 days a week. What would be more Canadian and more Toronto than to be the ability to use the pool in December, January, February, in any climate, fully heated to 140 degrees, snow melt systems in the terrace so you can walk off on heated floors, come in, use the pool, feel like you're in Banff, feel like you're in Lake Louise, feel like you're in Whistler, and be able to take advantage of the city at Yonge and Bloor with an infinity pool that completely flows into the streets. It's unbelievable.
It's awesome. This would not be an international building if we didn't give it in an international offering. Ladies and gentlemen, your brochure, the website, all your digital assets available in 7 languages. Now, this is very important. The sales procedure. Can we actually have everybody just lock the rooms, lock all the doors? I don't care if I'm breaking the code of the fire in the city. Nobody's leaving until I'm done telling you about the sales procedure.
And I want to talk about something else, an emotional content of the building.
Yeah, we'll do that right after this. All right. When you leave today, you will receive your VIP broker package. Your VIP broker package, I'm hoping we have enough of them. Your VIP broker package is going to have your brochure, It will have your floor plan book, it'll have your price list, it'll have a very detailed procedure document, and it'll have your worksheet. Now, the lower penthouse and the penthouse floor plans are not in the floor plan book. That is on the digital portal that everybody has access to download. We are accepting worksheets immediately following this event. The cutoff for worksheets are this Friday at 12 p.m. As of Friday, if your worksheet is accepted and allocated, the One sales team will contact you to make an appointment for this Saturday and Sunday where you and your clients will come in to sign. Where?
At the One, at the Hazelton Hotel.
Everything's been thought of, my friends. So One restaurant at the Hazelton Hotel this Saturday or Sunday is when we are doing signatures. Now, we talked about the beauty of the building. We talked about how the amenities and the services and the design. We haven't talked about the emotion.
The building has a lot of emotional content. I won't get into a lot of them, but there's one aspect I want to talk about. This is next generation emotional lighting that we've incorporated into the One. It is the newest technology in LED. You've seen it on the CN Tower, you've seen it in other buildings, but you've never seen it like this. The building will be matched and will flow with LED colors that will match the emotional content of the city and what's happening at the time. For example, Canada Day, red and white. For example, it's Breast Cancer Month, pink. For example, if the Leafs win the Stanley Cup, which they will, because we put in the lighting system to make the building blue.
There's nothing wrong with hoping and dreaming, my friend.
That's what got us here.
We're prepared for it. We're prepared for it.
So the building will have next-gen lighting, and you'll see it in the skyline in the city, and it will set the mood and set the emotion of how the city celebrates architecture and how it celebrates life.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are making history today. This is a celebration. This is the new way that the international world will look at Toronto in terms of capabilities of residential real estate. When you see Michelangelo, and he has his Sistine Chapel, this is Mizrahi Development's Sistine Chapel. And what's amazing about it, he's invited everybody in this room to pick up a brush and join us. Thank you so much for being here.